Hotep World, did you know that there was a letter floating around that is purported to have been written by Jesus himself? You have the New Testament with letters in it from all types of different people. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Paul, James, Peter, Jude, etc., etc. But did you know that there was a letter purported to have been written by Jesus himself that is not included? Now, I have to give this disclaimer because I'm an individual that likes to debate. And so people that I like to debate with, they are always looking to catch me slipping and saying something out of pocket that they can use against me in a later conversation. So disclaimer, I am not saying that this letter was actually written by Jesus himself. I'm only sharing the information. But who's to say that it wasn't actually written by Jesus? And if you are saying if the letter has questionable origin, then unfortunately you will have to throw out a lot of other letters and books that you may possibly, depending on your faith and belief, accept, because a lot of those have questionable origin too. Just want to throw that disclaimer out there. But in the book, The History of the Church, right? The History of the Church by Eusebius, a man who wrote this work between 300 and 400 CE, he documents a letter purported to have been written by Jesus himself. Now, even if you have never heard about this, this is very interesting, and let the real bookworm be the individual that presents this information to you first. You heard it here first, actual letter from Jesus documented in the History of the Church by Eusebius, the father of church history. Now, what Eusebius does is he documents two letters. He documents a letter that an individual wrote to Jesus during the time of Jesus, purportedly, and Jesus actually responded, right? I want y'all guys to look this up, okay? So he says that this is a copy of a letter written by Abgar, A-B-G-A-R, the toparch, to Jesus and sent to him at Jerusalem by the courier Ananias. Okay, now the letter that was sent to Jesus said this: Abgar Uchama, the toparch, to Jesus, who has appeared as a gracious Savior in the region of Jerusalem. Greeting. I have heard about you and about the cures you perform without drugs or herbs. If report is true, you make the blind see again and the lame walk about. You cleanse lepers, expel unclean spirits and demons, cure those suffering from chronic and painful diseases, and raise the dead. When I heard all this about you, I concluded that one of two things must be true. Either you are God and came down from heaven to do these things, or you are God's son doing them. Accordingly, I am writing to beg you to come to me, whatever the inconvenience, and cure the disorder from which I suffer. I may add that I understand the Jews are treating you with contempt and desire to injure you. My city is very small but highly esteemed, adequate for both of us. So you see a guy named Abgar the toparch writing to Jesus, saying that he has heard about all of the miracles that Jesus has performed. And there's only two conclusions that he can draw from this. Either one, Jesus is God himself that has come down, or Jesus is God's son who has come down and is doing this. Either way, he is beseeching Jesus to come to him because he suffers from an illness himself and he himself wants to be healed. And he also goes on to say that he has heard about the Jews treating Jesus unfairly and wanting to harm him. And he tells him basically that his city is small but highly esteemed, and it could be a sanctuary city of sorts for Jesus. That if Jesus came to his city, he would not have to worry about the Jews harming him. So Jesus actually replies, and Eusebius documents the letter, a copy of the letter that we have. So what I want to do is I want to read to you Jesus's reply, a letter from Jesus. Have you ever heard this before? Probably not. Okay, Jesus's reply to toparch Abgar by the courier Ananias. Happy are you who believed in me without having seen me. For it is written of me that those who have seen me will not believe in me, and that those who have not seen will believe and live. As to your request that I should come to you, I must complete all that I was sent to do here, and on completing it, must at once be taken up to the one who sent me. When I have been taken up, I will send you one of my disciples to cure your disorder and bring life to you and those with you. So you heard it here first from the Real Bookworm, letter written by Jesus to Abgar the Topart, and the letter written by Abgar the Topart to Jesus. Did Jesus actually write a letter? Did Abgar the Topart really exist? Did his city exist? Did he actually write a letter to Jesus? I don't know. You be the judge. You do the research. But if you never heard about this letter of Jesus, but you heard about the letter of Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Paul, Peter, James, all of these other letters, but there's a letter purported to be written by Jesus actually floating around, and you never actually heard about the letter that Jesus wrote himself. Congratulations, you heard it here first with the Real Bookworm. This your brother Matthew Daniels, aka Ampu, aka The Chosen Few, aka The Real Bookworm. May your name live on forever, and may your memory never die. Hotel, peace, I'm out.